This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. It's not often that I'm pleasantly surprised, okay, that a game under 80 bucks comes out. Now, don't get me wrong, you can go to the website and you can buy all the bling that goes with this, but I got the retail version from Miniature Market, and I was like, well, it's probably just a small little game. Well, no, there was a lot of game that came in this, and it is Temple of Horrors, a dungeon exploring adventure for 1 to 4 players. And I went, okay, let me bring that in. I love dungeon crawls. And I was very pleasantly surprised. Let's go down and we'll talk more about this very unique little game here. Now, I'm not going to show you everything. I'm just going to kind of talk a little bit about this. This is a tile-based game, and there's a lot more tiles. And what you're going to be able to do is there will be certain tiles laid out, and you'll be able to pick what tile you want to put in, or you can pick a strange one, a mystery one off the bat. You are going to start in a certain area. Everything has to connect a certain way. There are going to be different types of rooms. Some will have different types of things and symbols on them that will cause bedlam and heartache, of course. You can never go past the starting entrance area. Oh, let me spin that around here. So you can never build the dungeon down, but you can always build it outwards. And everything has to make sure that it connects to a room. As you can see here, like for instance, this red room here, okay, you cannot put it this way where it closes off a room. You have to make sure that it fits. And if you ever draw a tile that does not connect, you just discard that and you pick another one. The colors have come into play. You have you'll have different characters. There's thieves, barbarians, and such. And you will start with a certain ability. This is how you will start out, and each one of these things will say, you'll put this card here, which will tell you you have 9 health, which you're going to keep track of up here, and certain other abilities that you'll be able to use. You can always, of course, get additional abilities. You'll have to pay for them a certain way through experience and stuff as you kill monsters. Good luck with that. You will start off with a certain abilities and certain experience points. You're going to spend your experience points to get better things, which will give you additional health, attack values, and such. Also, when it comes to attacking and things like that, and this is where this is very, very unique, you can get certain things that'll add bonuses to you as you knock things off and so forth and so on. There are tokens that will knock down walls if there are walls and things like that. You can find secret rooms and stuff, and there are a whole bunch of missions which I'll show you very shortly. The thing that's really interesting about this is that you are allowed a certain amount of actions, and each one of these cubes are going to be an action. You're going to take 3, and there's more cubes that you would start with, and put them in your reserve, okay? You get them back after you start this process here, where you are going to, each one of these is an hour, and as you can see, there's certain things that'll happen as you get later in the game. This is to track any kind of monsters that you may not that you fight and haven't finished killing, and there are other things that will come into play here. Your heroes and your creatures, you're going to have 3 big bosses, which I didn't pull out, and there's a bunch of elites, but for the most part you are going to be dealing with these minions, which will be in certain areas here. Okay, you are allowed 1 action per turn. Now, what you're going to do is you'll have a color die, say you're blue and another player's white, and you're going to roll them, and you will put them in sequential order from north to south, okay? And that will be the initiative level. There's a black one and a red one. The red is for a combat, melee combat. The black one will be for any kind of movement of the monsters, okay? And then, of course, you have all your different heroes that you will be utilizing during this. Now, there's a couple of things. Depending on your order that you're going to go, if you are here, you will get your movement. So you can move into here and say, yeah, I'm going to fight these two dudes. Okay? Yeah, good luck with that. Okay? Or you can use an action if you have a ranged weapon, depending if you're an archer or something like that, that you, as long as you have a line of sight, you can use that particular thing to fire into there and hopefully do damage. How do you do combat? Now, this is where it gets really interesting, is because you are going to take a certain amount of mana cubes and you are going to roll them onto this thing, okay? Or you can flick them whatever one that you want to do. If you want to do that, if it goes off, it's no good. If you're short, it's a fumble. If you come into your green or your yellow, those are going to be defense. So depending on what they hit, you can block. But you kind of want to try to get into the black and the red area or the orange area, because those are going to be the hits. And depending on what their hit value is in melee, because when you go to the melee part of this, when you work down to the melee cube, you are going to get to attack first, and you're going to say, well, I got to take on these two guys, and I can do, okay, 9 damage. He may have only 8. That may be enough to kill him, but he'll be attacking back, and maybe if you have a couple of cubes here, and he attacks you for 2, you'll be able to block those, okay? You do not have to use this dexterity system. Okay, and that's the real cool thing about it, is that in your rule book here, it gives you an option, and I want to show you everything, and kind of show there are breaches, there are barriers, there are statuses that you'll have, and 8 different adventures. Like I said, your combat boards, experience points that are these, the stars, elites. You will put your, if you have a minion that is an elite, you will put them on that particular disc. Magical shards. You're trying to get the magical shards, which will open up so you can leave. Okay, and you want to try to get out of there. You have side quest markers. You have 56 different hero cubes. Remember the blue cubes like I showed you? Those are your action cubes. These are your hour board and your hour marker. Like I said, here's the different types of demons that you'll run into. Again, I didn't pull everything out. The 4 leaders, because I just want to kind of go over this. You'll have different types of cards. You'll have boss cards to represent the boss. There'll be map cards. And PvP, you can play PvP. So you can play against another player. You'll have clue cards, which will come into play. Okay? And again, I wanted to show you, and it shows you all the different things. It's really an easy read. Again, this is, as I had said, how the board would work. But again, you do not have to use that board. You can use a D12, okay, for each one of those cubes and roll it. And it has a little thing here, and I want to make sure that I show you guys. Okay. Just so you have an idea what's going on. Again, they talk a lot about treasure checks and stuff like that, and how things play out. And I believe here it is, dice variant. Of course, this is the last page, right? Okay, you have a dice variant that you can use. You can use a D12, which depending on what you roll will give you either defense, hits, or fumbles, or nothing. Okay, if you ever roll a 12, right? There are different types of way you can play. You can play cooperatively, semi-cooperatively, or you can play PvP. There is a lot of game in this set, and you get a lot of stuff. And I want to go back and kind of show you again. You know, you are going to get all these different tiles and things like that. There are 72 room tiles that you get for under $80. Okay, normally a game like this you would see for about $120, $130. there is a lot of game here that is affordable. Why? Because they're using standees and not overkilling you here. Not only that, but you're going to get this adventure booklet. And there are 67 adventures, different adventures that you are going to be able to do. And it tells you how to set up each adventure. And you can go through it and do certain things. And you're trying to, overcome and gives a risk level and so forth and so on. And you'll get certain rewards for completing everything, which is really, really very, very, very cool. Of course, also you will get, like I said, your main actions, your free actions, and your game phases, explaining everything with the leaders and the mummies and all the different things that you're going to run into, what they do, how they do it, the minions, what their health normally is, what's the damage that they do, your elites, and then of course your leaders, treasure checks. You can search. You can look for all kinds of things and use certain weapons to enhance your attack values and such. A lot going on for a game that is very fairly cheap and affordable. Let's go up top and get my final thoughts. One of the things that I really like about this is the simplicity. I like the little dexterity part of it with the board here when you are fighting, when you just take in, you roll your mana, and you can get a certain amount of hits and so forth and so on. I really think that's kind of neat, but I also like how in the manual, like I showed, that you can actually just decide to get some D12 and roll it that way if you rather roll dice. It gives you a couple options here. I really like what this does and how it does certain things. It's fun. It's enjoyable. I like, you got 67 missions. For a game that's under $80, there's a lot of things going on here. Now, you can get the miniature edition and all that stuff, but you don't need it. I like the standees and how they work and stuff. I just think that this does a lot of things right, and I'm really enjoying going through this and learning about this. Really, really just a neat game. And I didn't show you everything. I didn't show you the market. I didn't show you, some of the other things. I tried to explain everything as best I could, but I just wanted to keep it really simple and not make this a 25-minute video. What I wanted to do was make this where you got an idea, and then if you really wanted to go check it out, you could. And I don't think that you were going to lose either way. So just very, very cool. And that's the best way to put it. So it might be up your alley. Check it out, and I hope you enjoy it. So until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.